in England, the Brexit thing, it's just like, I can't believe there's so much noise about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like, it was put to the people as a vote. The people voted. That's democracy. Fucking get over it. You know, I didn't vote because I didn't think we should have been given the vote in the first place, because as ordinary members of the public, how the fuck are you qualified to talk about the breakup of the oldest continent in the fucking world?
Yeah.
So, and then the people trying to get the vote overturned, they used to call that fascism. Right?
Yeah.
But they don't call it fascism anymore, you know what I mean? Because they're fucking right on. Now, personally, I don't think we should have left the union, because I feel right at the time of it happening, we turned our back on the French. We were going through some like dark terrorist shit. But it's happened now. It was a legal vote. Fucking get on, get it done. Let's move on.
Yeah.
That's my view on it all. South America, we're actually going to set fire to some bastard rainforest as well, man. F***ing trees.
Yeah.
It's getting in the way of all them car parks.
Questions. What about God? Would you describe yourself as believing in God or not at the moment?
Again, it's a complicated thing, because I believe in the power of love and humanity and real things. If you're asking me, do I see the hand of God at work in the world, I'd have to say no. For the simple reason that if God as a real thing exists, with all the things over the last decade that have been terrorism and wars are fought in his name or in its name, they've all got different names for their gods, but seemingly it's the same thing. But all the people that have died, the innocent people that have died, all around the world, terrorism in the name of God, wouldn't you think now would be the right time for some kind of global sign? I live in the here and now, and I go back to what I said at the beginning. I wish I believed in that, you know what I mean? And I know people that believe in it strongly, and I envy them in a way.
For a fellow who doesn't believe in God, however, said he,
I do write about it a lot.
carry us all, gas panic, the Hindu, little by little, dig out your soul. For a fellow who doesn't believe in God, you certainly carry on a fair bit of...
Well, it's a great imagery. I mean, God, you know, God... there's a line in one of the songs off my latest record, and it's a song that I wrote about my wife, and it says, "You're the only God I'll ever need." If I do believe in God, I believe it's here, somewhere, in everybody. And when I mention God and angels and all that seemingly biblical stuff in songs, my wife is an angel to me, and a real one, because she appeared out of the smoke in a nightclub when I was at my lowest, and I've never looked back since then. And to me, she is an angel. But she's not a heavenly body, she's real. I can touch her, do you know what I mean? And I do regularly, and it's great. And for me, not for her. And God is in me, I think, and God is in her, and God certainly is in my children. When I was growing up, we were the working class and we were the lowest. There's a level underneath that now. They can't be bothered working class, you know what I mean? And they've grown into a culture of benefits and all that. But there's many reasons for those riots, but there is no excuse. But, you know, if you're constantly bombarding young people with a lifestyle on 24-hour television that they can't have, magazines for girls with £2,000 handbags in, and, you know, X Factor and all this kind of celebrity lifestyle, which is frankly what all young people want. You constantly bombard them with that and then give them no hope of ever getting it. And then, you know, a few of them get together and they're like, we put Curry's windows through, you know, at least we'll get a couple of tellies out of it. You know, you can't expect them not to behave like animals, you know, when they're kind of uneducated like animals. Do you know what I mean?
We have got the language of Shakespeare, the history of Winston Churchill,
The music of McCartney, Jagger, Coldplay.
Did you see David Cameron in the States the other week launching a kind of rebranding exercise? It did have shades of Cool Britannia. Can that kind of stuff ever work in your view and from your experience?
There are all those terms like putting the great back into Britain and let's get Britain working and all that. They're just vague one-liners to appease the people on the news channels. They don't mean anything, do you know what I mean? They don't mean anything. It all boils down to basic human values in the end, and if you don't give people work and if you don't educate them, society crumbles. That's the end. That's it. You know, you can do as much for businesses and small businesses and, you know, loophole tax and this, that and the other. It really all comes down to basic human needs, work and education. And if you've got that, people have respect for themselves and respect for each other, eventually. All the time they say, well, what would you say if your kids come in and say, what child is going to walk in and say to their dad, yeah, Dad, I'm just gonna get out, I'm gonna score some weed and do some fucking ecstasy. What do you reckon?
You know what I mean, though? It's like you want to lead by example, which I guess you're doing right now.
Well, I'm afraid the internet is a window to all sorts of nonsense for kids. So you've got to let... we plan, me and Sarah, to let them find their own way in life, and when they get... If they get... I'm sure they won't, because my kids have got their heads screwed on. If they ever get too close to the edge, you pull them back, don't you? Yep. There's not a great deal... There's not a great deal that you can teach children that they'll be corrupted by the internet.
Drugs. Well, the drugs are not dangerous, it's the people that take them, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to be good at it.
Well, I was really good at it.
I was great at it.
Because I come out the other side.
Idiots.
Spoil it for the rest of us.
I could drive fast in a car. It's all these other driving around me who are no good.
Idiots.
Yeah, you got to slow down for them.
You've got to accommodate them.
Telling your kids, man, if you're depressed, buy yourself a television, get the nearest hotel, open the window, throw it in the car park. It's done. That's your best cure for depression. The drugs and all that, go and see the doctor. Tell them, Dr. Noel told you. By the way, if anybody's watching from a hotel that we're about to check into, I was joking on that last statement. And our government seemingly are powerless to fucking stop this shit. And I have children, and they're growing up in London, and they take the tube, and I take the tube, and we all take public transport because I can't drive, right? So, and there's like bombers roaming free around the fucking city, and our government, and the government before them, and the next fucking government after this one will be powerless to stop it because of some fucking hippie ideal about people's religious beliefs. Fuck those cunts is what I say. Now, Don't Look Back in Anger was already a fucking huge anthem before that fucking Islamic fucking goon put that bomb in the arena. So it was already this huge big thing anyway. But then when that girl started singing it in the minute silence, it was like fucking powerful, man, do you know what I mean? And so when I was singing it at the Manchester concert, a little part of you is kind of like, fucking wow, this is just, wow, But then the bigger part of you is wishing the whole fucking thing had never taken place in the first place, and that your song was just the same thing as it was. I believe in love more than anything else in the world, and if love is divine, great. But I believe that humans generate love, you know what I mean? The meaning of life for me is watching your kids grow up and watching them go from in loads of different stages, and growing with your wife is the meaning of life, I think, and just the day-to-day, the trip of life. Some people live their life, they worry about the destination. Where's it going to be? What is, they worry about where they're going. I enjoy the trip. You get wherever you're going is where you'll end up. Don't worry about that. Enjoy the scenery on the way. Yeah. When they can go and get drugs for you, right, then we're moving forward as a society here. Alexa, go score us some weed. I'll be back in a bit. All gadgets are fucking overrated. We never needed them for, like, you know, I don't know, 2000. They built the pyramids without fucking electricity. There's no app for that. It's gone too far now, hasn't it? Would you get in a car with no driver? No, it's fucking stupid. They'll have pilotless fucking planes next. It's ridiculous. Whoever's come up with that idea, honestly, needs fucking locking in a darkened room. Twitter is the playground of fucking idiots. I would love to find out the percentage of single males with Twitter accounts. I would fucking hazard a guess. It's quite high.
Well, you know our president is on Twitter quite
well, and so is my fucking brother. And quite literally, I put the pair of them in a driverless car each so it fucking ran into each other.